Hello. So a lot of people ask me questions about how to start a business. And a lot of people don't understand, especially young people, what it means to be in business for yourself. So I'll explain it in the most simplest way that I understand business that everyone can understand. So first thing you need to understand the basic rules of business. And the very basic way for me to explain this is by saying it's like dating. So when you go on a date, you're going to put on your best clothing. But before you can go on the date, you have to get a date. So a lot of people to get a date will go out to a nightclub or some type of social event to get their date. And in order to get a date with someone, you have to turn around and ask a lot of people out. It's a numbers game. You go up to the first person. Hey, I would like to go out on a date with you. They'll either say yes or no. If they say yes, great. Then you can go on a date. So in business, let's compare this. You have no customers, so you have no date. So you have to go out and get customers. So I have to ask a lot of people or other businesses for a date or for their business. Now, once I ask and I get someone who accepts me to go on a date, I still have to dress back up, look my best. What do I mean by this? Whether you're in construction or you're wearing a suit and tie, you want to look your best. In other words, I don't want to show up unshaven and unbathed and just smelling raunchy and looking nasty. You want to look your best, even in construction. No one is worried if you show up and you're beat up clothes in construction. They realize you're doing construction, but if you smell like crap and you look like you're not taking care of yourself, you're representing the type of work that you may end up doing for my home. So no one wants a poor representation because it's reflecting the quality of work that you may end up doing. So I tell people, make sure you present yourself the best. Just like you're going on a date, you want to present yourself in the best light. So once you're done with the date, what the date is doing is it's setting up the position, whether on a date or with the customer, if they want to see you again. So on a date, if it goes well, they would say, I wouldn't mind seeing you again, or can we do this again? If it's a customer, once you get there and you present yourself, they would turn around and say, would you mind giving me a bid, or would you mind starting the work? So once the work is going, or once they say yes, now you have the work. So this is the rules of business. Business is like going out finding dates every day of your life. It's nonstop. It's constant. So you're constantly talking to people. You're constantly asking people to go on a date with you or for their business. Same concept. Just we don't think of them the same. So if you're good at communicating with people about asking for a date, you are very well at communicating in a business scenario. With this said, now that you understand the basic principles of getting a customer. Now comes down to the important part, is keeping those customers. In order to keep those customers, you not only have to treat them kindly, with respect, even sometimes when they're not treating you so nice, you have to maintain a level of respect. I tell people this is called, just like in a relationship, sometimes you have to kiss people's asses, excuse my terminology, but this is the plain truth of the situation. If you're not willing to take some type of level of disrespect, and then sometimes you may just not get the work that you're looking for. It just comes with it, especially in the beginning stages. In the beginning stages, you can't be picky. You need work, and every job gives you experience. It gives you a proven concept. So no job is ever too small. I see so many people who turn around and say, oh, well, that doesn't pay me enough. And I turn around and say, that's not how business works. When you need money and you're starting out a business, sometimes you may only make $1 in profit. And what I tell people is $1 in profit is better than $0. You're in the business of making money. So $1 is $1. Now, as time grows and you build up clientele, you can be a little bit more pickier. In the beginning stages, you don't have those options to be picky. And people think that they can be picky, but no, you cannot be picky. If someone's willing to pay you and they're giving you what you're asking for, you take it. If they negotiate with you and it's something that is still where you'll make profit, you take it. And this is what I try to explain to people starting off a business. You need word of mouth. And the best way of getting word of mouth is doing the work. Sometimes if you do the work and you make $1 or 50 cents in profit, that person might be your best asset. And they may be grateful enough that they'll spread your name throughout the community for free without you even realizing. Now, that one person can turn around and bring you 10 or 20 customers. When I first started my computer business in Florida, it was one lady who lived behind us. Her kid came in, then she came in, and she must have brought in 20, 30 customers just from one family. Next thing I know is I had 10 or 20 customers. And then it just kept growing from there, but it was the word of mouth. I didn't have to pay for it. But I had to make sure that I was staying kind. I was being respectful to each and every person who came in and did what they needed done to make them happy. The reason that you're in business and that you'll stay in business is because you're making your customers happy. You're resolving an issue that they need taken care of, that they need help with. When you can resolve issues for them to get them back on track of going where they want to go in their life, people will pay you. And this is the purpose behind business. So in a way, I tell people that when I was in business, not only was I doing the work, but I was also their psychologist, And I also had to smooth them over and take care of them when they came into my business. This may not make sense to you, but if you want customers, you turn around and you stroke everyone kindly, nicely, and respectfully. The next thing that I'll explain to you, that sometimes I hear from young people, and I don't know where they get this attitude. They feel like they have to chase after big jobs or they have to rip people off. And you don't. If you treat people fairly, respectfully, and you don't worry about the money, you do the work that you love doing, and you do the best that you can for them, they will pay you a fair living wage. They will make sure you stay in business. They will be there for you because now they find you a value added asset in their lives. And no one wants a value added asset to ever go away during their lifetime. So you need to understand this. And if you can understand this small key, understanding, treat everyone the way you want to be treated. So don't gouge any customer, because then someone is going to try to gouge you. But if you're always fair to everyone will be fair with you. Just some common sense rules. So then the next thing I'll explain about this, starting on, don't buy any equipment that you don't need right then and there. What do I mean by this? So one young man asked me, hey, I need help. I want to start a pressure washing company. He says, okay, well, what do you need help with? He says, well, I need all this equipment. I need a pressure washer. I need the truck. Can you help me? I'm like, sure, I'll help you with the first thing. I go, I'll buy you 100 flyers and you can go hand out those 100 flyers. And he's looking at me. What do you mean? I go, you don't need any equipment until you get a customer. I says, right now, all you need is flyers. Once you get the customer, and then you can go out and buy the equipment to complete that job. May not be the best equipment. So you get a cheap power washer just enough to get that job done. Might cost you $150 for it. Throw it in your car, so you don't need a truck or a van or any big equipment. You haven't had a customer yet, so why are you going to borrow money, beg for money, or put yourself into debt for something you haven't even accomplished yet? And people look at me like they think they need all of this equipment for these big, beautiful buildings. I worked out of a beat up building for many years. My customers knew that my building was beat up and they didn't care. They came in because of the quality of the work that I did. Let me explain this again. It was the quality of the work that I did and the quality of kindness that I provided to them. Those two things is what they were looking for. They didn't care about the quality of my building. They didn't care how it looked. I wasn't sitting there trying to make money to look great. I was clean. I was honest. I was kind to people. And I did my best every day. That's all that anyone is asking when you're in business. So, what I'll explain to you is, if you're trying to get a customer, sometimes all you need is a flyer in the beginning. some way to hand out something to explain what you're doing to someone. So you're looking for someone that needs that type of work. And if you don't have those customers already lined up, now you have to achieve those customers, get those customers. So what you want to do is first create those customers or the potential of those customers via flyer. You go out, they hand out flyers, you find a place, they hand them out. So if I was in construction, I would go out in front of Lowe's or Home Depot, hand out flyers to people. Hey, I do this type of work. If you're interested, give me a call. I would, if I'm doing business, let's say I'm starting off as a legal, maybe I'm going to go out and find a busy place in front of a Walmart or somewhere that I can hand out cards. I'm a new upcoming attorney. If you need assistance, give me a call. You're not going to get a lot of calls. So what I normally say is if you hand out 100 flyers or you meet 100 people, maybe you get 1 or 2 inquiries. But you got to start somewhere. And until you get a customer, there's no wrong or right answer. The wrong answer, though, when trying to acquire a customer, is spending too much money. I have never gotten my customers in the beginning off of the internet. It just never happened. It came via word of mouth by getting into my local community and working through my local community. That's where it starts at. If you don't have the emotional ability to get outside of your own skin, in other words, get out, communicate, talk to people, network, and get into the local community, and then you're going to have a hard time. Now, the other aspects of running a business, you don't work 9 to 5 anymore. You work whenever you're required to work. In other words, if you have a customer that you get and you know that work's going to take you all night long to have it done the next day and they're requiring it the next day, you're going to give it to them and you're going to do that work, and you might have to miss a family dinner. You may not be able to go out with your girlfriend or boyfriend, but you're trying to get yourself established, and that is the key. Once you're established, now you can make adjustments. When you start a small business, you don't need a corporation, an LLC. I don't buy into that garbage. I've had a corporation, and the paperwork, the taxes that you have to deal with, it's a nightmare. It's costly, and it makes no sense putting money out on a corporation or LLC in the beginning stages. You can go down to the courthouse or get on the internet, and what you want to do is file a fictitious business license. What that means is that you're doing business, you yourself is doing business as this fictitious name. It gets filed at your local courthouse. They're normally about $15 to $25 or $35, depending on today's cost. With that piece of paperwork, now you can go get a business account opened up. It gives you a legal way to transact business. Do not go out and get a tax identification number unless you're going to be selling products. If you're not selling inventory, and then you don't need a tax ID number. But at some point in time, you may need it. But in the beginning stages, keep it simple, keep it stupid. You only get the things you need when the time comes to get them. Do not worry about the future. You don't have the money to worry about the future. You're starting off. You stay poor, you stay lean, and you stay humble. And what that means is that if you don't need it today, if it's not going to accomplish something here and now, then it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time. You need to stay focused on getting your customers and owning your skill set. Now, the next thing I'll explain, and this will be controversial with some people, and some people will 100% agree with me. If you're starting a business, you're either in or you're not. Let me explain this. If you're going to do something, it means that you want to be an expert. People are coming to you because you are an expert. Doesn't mean that you have all the answers. It means that you can find the answers, you know where to go get the answers. It means that you're studying constantly on your area of expertise, what you're doing your business. You are honing your skill set. You're becoming the best at that you are. You're not worried about anything else. And I hope this resonates with you. People who go, oh, I have side gigs. I do this over here, and I do this over here, and I do this over here. You're not focused. You're not an expert at anything. You can't do this over here and that over here and do this over here and that over there. At some point in time, it's going to wear you out. No one can count on you or rely on you because you're always jumping to do too many different foods, trying to do too many different things and not focusing in on one thing, becoming an expert on one thing so people know that you are the very best at what you do because you're honing in and doing that one aspect in your life. So I don't buy this side gig crap. If you want to be a side gig crap, good for you. I don't see you becoming great at that or an expert at it over the long term. If you're going to do something, you want to do something and you're going to focus, you're going to put your heart, your mind into it. You're going to put yourself into it. And people want that. People think maybe I was old and callous and it was just I just give me your money and I'll do the work. It was because I care, put my heart into my work. Heart is helping people. People wanted that. That's what people were paying for. Except I was providing a service that they needed out of my kindness and my love for what I enjoy doing. And people enjoyed that and wanted that. And when you can provide that, you will keep customers and they will bring you more customers. So when you understand these things, little subtle tricks, the world will become your oyster. And I'm not saying being and running a small business is easy. It's the most hardest and the most rewarding thing you will ever do. Let me explain this. I never had to miss my children's events because of my business. Now, military service, I would miss events. So let's explain the difference. When I worked for myself, I could put a sign up on my door saying, I will be gone for an hour going to my child's school event. People understood that and respected that. When I was in the military, I couldn't turn around and say, hey, I can't go 2 hours away or into another state or another country and by the way, the reason why I can't go is because I have a school event that I need to go to watch it. They look at me and they go, so it's all right, but you're going. And there's a difference. But when you're working for someone else, they're dictating the rules. When you're working for yourself, I can take off for those events. Because that was my priority. And people respected my priority. So those are some of the advantages. And some of the disadvantages is you just don't get vacations. Especially if you stay like a mom and pop shop. You know, me and my wife didn't take vacations until after I was retired. I didn't know what a vacation was. You just always work. You have to stay near your business. You stay near to what you grow. If you're not there to run what you grow, it will just disappear. It's you. People are coming to see you, not the business. They're coming to see you. So if you're not there, then they're not coming to see you. And eventually they just stop wanting to come all together. So you have to understand what a business is. It's about being there, constant, on time, ready to go, presentable for what you're doing, and ready to share your life with people. I hope this helps you. And if you like this content, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, all that BS. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. Just keep watching. And I'll see you next time. You take care of yourselves. And I send my love. Take care.